Alright, so that was all words are made up by the voids. This is a daily code kickoff. Yeah, this is Shelter Song by Temples. Today we're gonna try to learn some more Vue, if that's okay with everyone. Yeah, so I think we've gone about 3 days. No, I'm sorry, it's only been 2 sessions where we worked on the starting guide for Vue, the starting tutorial. And yeah, so this was like on Wednesday last week. Matt, Faith, and Nick, and then Nick joined me the day after that. And so we're just going to continue that. I think unless anyone joins and wants to do something else, anyone joins the hangout, yeah, which reminds me, let me say hi to the chat. And we'll get started. So I guess I'll jump over to Vivaldi, to JSFiddle, and I have this link. What I might do is post this link in the chat as well, because it's where we left off on Thursday. And yeah, we'll just go from there. So let me actually find the tutorial before doing this. So I go to Opera, and I forgot the exact URL. I think it's this one here, but it's like okay, let me just go to it right here. I guess I might post this link in the chat too. And yeah, so we are, I think, like halfway through this, maybe. Let me see. We're got through like app 6, I think. So app 5, app 6, right there. How can you do this here? Oh yeah. So that's the implemented version right there. And I think that's where we left it. So now we're actually gonna bring in the templates into the JS. Looks like. Yeah. So composing with components. The component system is another important concept in Vue because it's an abstraction that allows us to build large-scale applications composed of small, self-contained, and often reusable components. If we think about it, almost any type of application interface can be abstracted into a tree of components. Yeah, like sort of the top node here is sort of the overall square of that web. In Vue, of that web page, in Vue, a component is essentially a Vue instance with predefined options. Okay, so this is called registering a component in Vue. I think actually you can do this with that when you use the element property, like you see right there on line 17. But this is like, I think it's more like defining it, the template within the JavaScript. Is that right? Perhaps. So we're gonna create this, define it, and now you can compose it in another components template. I'm not sure what they're saying here. In another components template, like okay, I get it. So this is like, okay, so this is kind of like in other languages or frameworks or libraries like React or whatever, or we have it defined here. So we have it defined over here. We name it to-do item, and so we can use it here. And they're saying, however, the text would be the same for every one of these to-do items if you use it like that. So I guess I'll get into, yeah, some dynamic data here. We should be able to pass data from the parent scope into child components. Let's modify the component definition to make it accept a prop. Okay. So we'll have that to-do prop there. Okay. So this is like almost like a variable name. And then it'll use, I forgot what this is called again, but the mustache handlebars to use it there. Then it's like, well, how do you pass it in, right? Using vbind. Okay. Right there. So this is the JS right here. Sorry, not the JS, the HTML. Let me make this bigger, by the way. Right here. So we're almost done with this, by the way. So it's right here. We're passing it in. This would just be, oh, we're using a for loop here. Okay. So if we have a grocery list from somewhere. Okay, and here's the data. Okay, I get it. So every item here is one of these objects in this array. We got it defined there, grocery list. Right, this is the same. And we're gonna extract the text value up here, right there. Okay, got it. So let's code this up. I guess I'll grab the HTML first. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I kind of walked through it, and then I copied everything. I guess I could have typed everything, but that'll be slower, right? I guess what we expect to see here is exactly the same as before. So is this going to actually print the key? That's what I'm not sure of right there. No, it's not, because where'd that go? Up here in the element, we're just printing the text. So, okay. We've created, I guess we could technically, so just for some variation here, we could use this to-do item somewhere else in like one of our previous apps. Because I don't think it's tying it to app 7 at all. Yeah, and then what's actually calling it is this. So this is like a Vue component, and we're doing that for loop. We are giving it a key for some reason, probably just to help index it. To maybe see for changes. And yeah, that right there is tying it to here. And so when we pull the data, the grocery list, here. Okay. So we're just gonna see a list. Let's run it. There we go. We are seeing the numbers because it's in ordered list right there. So yeah, let's test out that using that to-do item anywhere else. I guess let's look for somewhere where we have like an array. I think we did that once before. Was it up here, or was it an array of data? Here we go. So these other to-dos over here. Okay. So in app number 4, right there, and I guess we could just add, like, let's add like below the to-do button, like another ordered list. Right, actually let's not make it ordered, let's make it unordered. And so we would just use kind of like this, right? But let's use a for loop like this, and it'll be to do and the same to dos. So we're still going to pull from here, and we're going to use that. Oops, let me do this. And actually, does that make sense to use an li right there? Will it create it? So to do, because we're gonna try to use the component, right? And I think it creates it within there. Yeah, right there. So how do we do it before we did it? Right, so we just created that component, and these are directives, almost like attributes within the component. And okay, to do, and okay, so this will be to do, and this will be to do as well. unless we change it up here. So again, this was to do item. And I just push enter. And bind to do was it equals. So this second to do is for that one, right?
I'm living in a foreign country, but I'm bound to cross the line. Beauty walks and raises
And this to do here is for the data. No. Let me go back. This to do is this what we're calling it? What we're gonna call it, like the in the actual component. So where's our component? The component is here. It's like the prop. Okay, that's probably what it's called, the prop. I guess just so that there's no confusion, let me change that. So I can change the prop, but I think I'll leave it the same. So right here we're binding this. So in this example, we're binding the item that, I mean, this could be anything else, right? This could be to do as well. We have it to do up here. How about, just so it's clear, to do item, like that. And this is the prop. And so that now these will be tied and print it out like that. I think that makes sense. So let me close this out. And not like that.
In the flowers of the city, though breath like it, death like a tide.
I think that's right. Oh, no, so we kind of do this, okay.
Your cracked country lips, I still wish to kiss, as to be by the strength of.
So now we should have the same exact to-do list in an unordered list. And so I kind of wonder whether this will work, the add to do button. Let's find out.
So you're trying to be a part of a world that just don't exist.
So first of all, it did not print.
It's all just a dream, babe, a vacuum, a scheme, babe. It sucks you into feeling like this.
To do
I can see that
maybe do I need a bind?
It's been twisted and fed by worthless foam.
So let me do this.
I can tell you what.
Did we give it an ID though? I don't think it has an ID. No. I could add it. But I'm not sure about that. Let's see, let me just click this button and see what happens. You see that? It actually added it. It added it to both lists. But I'm not sure why that. Yeah. That is mysterious to me. Like, why didn't it just render it at first?
From fixtures and forces and friends, your sorrow to stare.
I wonder if I just move this down, if that makes a difference. So let me just remove this. And then I'll try to add a key to it, see if that makes a difference. So it still did not render it. Then when I click the add to do, I mean, what happens when I click the add to do that causes it to actually re-render? Maybe it's because the view element is below in the JS, the view component. I don't know if that makes sense. Because we are like, yeah, first of all, we are using regular JavaScript. And where was that? App number. But all I'm doing is to do, I mean, it's still app number 4, right? Okay, let me just try to move it up. I kind of doubt this is the reason, but it might be. So before app number 4. Because we're only really calling it in the HTML, which I would think, yeah, I'm not sure where the, okay, let me just test it out little by little. Interesting, so that's what it was. I guess because, let's see, what's actually causing the rendering here of app number 4? I mean, at this point, I mean, is it the HTML that's rendering it, or the JavaScript? Because it seems like it tries to render it when it runs through the JavaScript, right? It runs through the JavaScript, it still doesn't have the view component defined before it did not, when it's running through here. And so I guess at this point, to do item is not defined right before, and so it just kind of skips it. There's probably an unordered list. Like if we'd be able to inspect this, I think I tried to inspect it 2 sessions ago and it didn't look good. Yeah, but I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that's real ugly. Let me just stop that. Yeah, so before at this point, where it's sort of tying the app number 4 div as the element for this view component, for this view instance, I mean, renders it, and then it sees that there's no to-do item component, before, when this was below. And then so it just continues on, renders all the rest. And then then when I click the add to do button before, the Vue component was already defined below. And so when it re-rendered, it would show it this time. Okay. That makes sense, I guess. Glad we checked that. So let me switch back to see anything else. Okay, so I guess here they're kind of explaining the to-do item. I don't know that we can actually do this. So let me read this. They're saying, this is a contrived example, but we have managed to separate our app into 2 smaller units, and the child is a reasonably well decoupled from the parent via the props interface. We can now further improve our to-do item component with more complex template and logic without affecting the parent tab. Okay, yeah. In a large application, it is necessary to divide the whole app into components to make development manageable. We will talk a lot more about components later in this guide, but here's an imaginary example of what an app's template might look like. Right, so these are other components, kind of like the to-do item. There's app nav, app view, app sidebar. And yeah, and this looks cleaner, by the way, like that. Okay, so you may have noticed that Vue components are very similar to custom elements. Okay. Vue's component syntax is loosely modeled after this spec. Just look at that. Yeah, you can look at that if you want. And yeah, so ready for more. We briefly introduced the most basic features of Vue core. The rest of this guide will cover them and other advanced features in much finer details. So I mean, they did link here up here the components, but now we're going to do more about the Vue instance. Okay, so let's go there. Okay, so I think we were just in the introduction, right? And now we're going to work with the Vue instance, data and methods, life hooks. This is that other link, component basics, down here. So I don't know, should we continue through this whole tutorial? Seems okay. I'm okay with it. I don't know if you guys want to. We'll see what Faith says when she shows up. I guess got about maybe 20 more minutes. So let's jump right into this. See what they're talking about here. See how far we get, and then see what Faith or anyone else says. creating a Vue instance, we've already done that. Like this. I wonder why they're showing with var. Maybe just because it's easier. Because I think ES6 was already out when Vue was created. I'm not 100% on that, but I think so. VM. This is interesting though. Although not strictly associated with the MV VM pattern, Vue's design was partially inspired by it. As a convention, we often use the variable VM, short for Vue model, to refer to our Vue instance. Okay. Yeah. So like as opposed to a controller, you have a Vue model. When you create a Vue instance, you pass in an options object. This one here. The majority of this guide describes how you can use these options to create your desired behavior. For reference, you can also browse the full list of options here. A Vue application consists of a root Vue instance created with no Vue, optionally organized into a tree of nested reusable components. Okay, yeah, so this is where, yeah, this is allegedly where you earn your money, if you understand this, the options and the directives. As the template. Okay. So I gotta click on the directives. Oh, well, custom directives. Oh, it's just defining it. Hey.
Good morning.
Hey, Okoth.
Yeah, I thought I should say hi. I saw you alone and okay, I thought why not coming.
Well, I mean, it's at your own risk, Okoth, because we're learning Vue.
Oh no. Okay. I think I bet I ran away then.
Have you tried Vue at all?
No, the only thing I've done is React. Yeah, something next to Vue.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like it. It's interesting. But yeah, so we're working through it.
Yeah, I remember
the tutorial.
There was a time we were doing some hackathon of Free Code Camp. There was an hackathon organized by Free Code Camp, and we had to. Okay, the other group, there was a group which was using Vue, and they learned it in a day, and they made some project with it.
Yeah, I don't think they.
That is Getty and some other guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we've already gone through the whole first part of the tutorial, like the getting started here, and we created like 7 Vue instances. And let me share my screen on the Hangout so you can see this.
We're in Twitch.
And what's that?
No, okay, I was wondering, okay, you're live on Twitch, right?
On Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you can see my screen, and you can see that I'm showing. So this is, I'm showing. Well, see, now I'm showing the Chrome. I was showing Opera. And yeah, so this here, I'll post this link here for you in the chat, in the Hangout chat, in case you want to look at it. And I'm also working over here on Vivaldi on it's called JSFiddle. So you can go there if you want to. You can type too. I'm not sure how much more we'll get done here in like 15 minutes left of the show. Faith said I guess she was going to try to join all week. I'm not sure. You know, it's early. How did you wake up, Okoth? You got like
No, I woke up like how many hours ago? 2. Yeah, 3. I woke up at local time was 2 a.m.
Wow, that is impressive. That is impressive.
Yeah, nowadays I do 4 hours, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a little more these days. Usually 4 is what I go with, but I'm trying to get 7 or 8 hours of sleep. So Faith likes her sleep, so she's waking up early, but you know she's joined late a few times, and I don't, you know, that's okay. It's better than not joining. It's really hard to wake up early. I guess it's easy for you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But I sleep early. I sleep at around 9 p.m.
Okay. So yeah, I posted those links there. Let me just jump back. You can navigate there if you want, just to see if you can. Maybe try to type something. In the meantime, I'll jump back to the tutorial. Let me go back to... So we went to the end of it. Now we're dealing with the Vue instances. That's like when you create a new Vue. And yeah, I was just reading this. So now they're talking about data and methods of the Vue instance. I guess yeah. Okay, here's an example here finally. Yeah, I guess since they don't give like a real example here, we could sort of create one here. So yeah, let's do that. Let me just read this. So when a Vue instance is created, it adds all the properties found in its data object to Vue's reactivity system. Okay. When the values of those properties change, the Vue will react. Interesting choice of words. It'll react, updating to mass new values. So when these change, the properties within there, yeah, the properties, yeah. So when these values change, it'll, the actual Vue, what you're seeing, will re-render. It sounds like they're saying. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, let's try to make that happen. So data. Yeah. Let's modify that word. I don't like that. I don't like the double use of data there because it's a little confusing. But yeah, let's head back over to Vivaldi, for me. And were you able to get in there?
Yeah, I am.
Can you test it out by going to the bottom of the JavaScript and like typing a line?
Okay. Should I type this example given in the Vue.js docs?
Yeah, if you want to.
Type anything.
Yeah, if you want to type this here. So I'm not showing Twitch, but yeah. If you want to type the var, maybe call it my data or something, just to switch it up, or data object. And yeah, because I'm. Go ahead, okay.
Should it be camel case in this case, and or I think this pure JS, right? I believe that.
What was the last thing you said?
Okay. Okay, I'm asking if it's supposed to be the variable declaration, that is the variable name, should it be camel?
Common.
Camel, I mean camel.
Oh, camel case. Camel case, yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh.
Camel case. Now, the interesting thing is that I'm not seeing you are typing.
Oh, it's not appearing there.
It's,
Yeah.
for me, like, I'm not seeing it changing.
Oh.
I'm not sure why.
Or should I sign in first?
Actually, hang on. I think I see it now.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. So type something. Yeah, because I'm not signing.
I type something. Line 52.
Oh, 52.
Why specifically should I type that?
I don't know, data object. Line 52.
Something of sort.
Yeah, it's not.
Shit.
I don't see it. Yeah, I think so. Let's see, who was it? It was Nick and Faith. I don't think they signed in. I know I'm not signed in. And oh, maybe you know what it is? I think I need to give you the collaborate.
Yeah.
Yeah, hang on 1 second. Yeah, sorry, Okoth. I need to give you the collaborate link. Okay, let's try this out. So I just posted it in the chat, and I'll post this in the Twitch chat too. And if you want to go to that one, hopefully it'll work now. Yeah. So there we go. Yeah, if you just want to go to the bottom of that file. Oh yeah, no wonder you were on line 52 because you hadn't seen my changes yet. So I hadn't saved this yet. Okay, that makes sense.
Should I create line 70 there?
Yeah, at the bottom, yeah. And yeah, if you just want to call it data object, camel cased. Let me see if we can type together. And yeah, don't forget the var. Yeah. And you know, they're calling this VM. I might just call it var view model. So it's a little, like when I see VM, I'm thinking virtual machine. And so instead I'll call it view model like that. New view. And we'll pass in the, what's it called? The options. The options object. Okay. So within that options object, we're going to add the data property. And yeah, I did want to modify it. So this definitely has to be data. The key has to be data. But the value, just to distinguish it, we're calling it data object. And I don't know that this will actually, this won't render anything at all. It should not. Let me run it though. And so when I rerun it, yeah, I think it re-rendered. Anyway, it doesn't show anything. It's not supposed to yet. But they're saying if we change the data to anything, it'll re-render the view. So I'm interested to see if I just change it to like 4, and it should save automatically. Oh, but I guess I do have to rerun it. Yeah. So it's not as good as if it was like live reloading, because I do have to push run. Okay, we're almost running out of time. Let's see here. Can we at least render this? Yeah. And it's not till here that we render it. So data object. Okay. Do you want to add this for us? This Okoth this stands for element, and it's how you're binding, a query selector to your Vue instance. And so I'm just going to copy and paste this up over here. But maybe you want to type this in our Vue instance. You got to type in L for element, colon, and then, this could be whatever, a query selector, but, just go with the ID of app. And if you don't mind typing that, I'll copy and paste all this. And just so we can.
Okay.
And sorry, I wasn't showing this to the Twitch audience. I was just talking about this here. I was telling Okoth if you could type this, and I'll copy and paste this.
Okay.
Okay, so. And so this here. So I'm gonna take out this foo thing. Oh, so it got totally erased, right? Oh, I was saying it to do it on this one, Okoth, on line 73. On the same one.
Line 73.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just.
Should I element and then I give it a tag, right? An ID, that is.
Yeah. The ID of app.
What's the ID?
It's that one there on 79.
Okay.
Now I'm not sure if the order matters. I kind of think it doesn't matter. We'll definitely need a comma right there.
Okay.
And that syntax is just because of mine. So let me remove this. That button. And
17.
So actually, yeah, I don't need to put this here. I don't know why I put it there. It needs to go in the HTML file. Let me take this out.
Oh well.
You need quotes. You need
exactly. Something of sort.
Yeah, like that. And okay, so data object. So yeah, we're adding data object there. Maybe we can change it to. Actually, we'll see it change. Let's try to render this and see what happens, and then we'll change the data object to data object. Yeah, I guess we'll have to change it to foo. A to foo right there. So let's see what happens. So at the bottom it's just showing foo like this. Let me see what happens when I change this. So it's still showing foo. Yeah, I don't have a. Okay, so if I click on it. Oh, right there.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of like why. On click. I guess we should. Let's see. Foo. Object. Okay. It's talking about this object freeze. It says the only exception to this being object freeze, which prevents existing properties from being changed. Okay, so maybe we jumped a little bit ahead there. Let me add this quickly. See what that does. Oops, don't need to save that. Oh, that's fine. And I reran it. Okay, so that still didn't really do anything. Let me just switch this order just in case. Usually it's the first one. I don't think that comma matters there. And I'll rerun it. That's still not doing anything there. And let me just go back to maybe call it a string like this. That did not do it. App. So maybe it's because we have two apps. We have this app up here.
Probably.
Let's call it app. Yeah, let's call it app 8. And okay, so now we see the bar right there that I put in. And then if I click on change it, at least it didn't change it. Let's see. Change it to on click. I wonder if they're trying to describe what this does. So it sort of prevents changes. So I'm gonna take that out. There we go. So that finally worked. So I guess they were trying to say that the point of it is that this will kind of freeze the data so that it won't re-render.
Okay.
And this
Makes
is
sense.
this is the on-click directive here, and it's tied to this button. And so what's going on here is that when I click on the button, it changes the foo data element, which is in here,
Buzz.
and it changes it to Bass. Yeah. So I really hate foobar. So let's just modify this and wrap this up. So let's not leave it as foobar. Let's leave it as let's see. We've been doing a lot with like grocery list. So maybe let's make it easy, right? Let's change it to food, like that. And let's go with chocolate bar. We're gonna change our mind. So change our mind. And like if this was a grocery list, so change our mind to something healthier, like I don't know, what's a food, Okoth?
Never. Oh, I do fish. You see my symbol is fish, right?
Okay, fish fry.
Yeah, fish fry. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna change our mind to a little. I don't know how much healthier this is, but let's see. So I'll run it, and I'll let you click on it to make sure that it works on your side. If you want to scroll down. Over here on the bottom right, yeah. Click on the change our mind button.
Actually, I can and okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah, I just did. I don't know whether I've seen the changes yet.
Okay, yeah, I can't see the changes. Okay, so let me click on it. Yeah, and it shows fish fry instead of chocolate bar. All right, cool. Well, on that note, we should wrap up. So I want to thank you, Okoth. Any final thoughts? What do you think of Vue?
Yeah, okay. I think I'm not that proficient with JS. I think I need to go through JS first before going the frameworks.
Oh,
yeah.
we might be doing a lot of Vue, unless like you join and you're like I hate Vue. Then
no.
we might do something else.
Okay, generally I'm not a fan of frameworks though.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if
especially
this is
the JavaScript one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they keep popping up daily.
Yeah, there's a new one every day. It seems like, right? Yup. I don't know. I think we're gonna force you to learn Vue, okay? If you join the daily code kickoff.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay,
just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, on that note, I do need to wrap up. So I just want to say thanks so much to Okoth for joining. It was toward the end, but it was good to have someone join. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Thank you, Okoth.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Don't get mad if I'm laughing. Blame the caffeine for all the filing phone calls. I haven't slept a single night in over a month. start to make sense to me.